All right, Young Cubs, welcome to the Fangirls Going Rogue podcast stage. We're so excited that you guys are here. Thank you. Woohoo! Yeah. We know it was kind of a time, you had to take some time out of your schedule to come here, so we really appreciate that. And we're each representing a different sister of the Force in honor of the panel that is going on right now that we all can't be at. So Tricia is our Padme.
Stand up, Tricia.
Stand up. In the new lake dress hoodie that has pockets that I discovered by accident.
And show off the symbol.
Oh yeah, the symbol. So why did you pick Padme?
Padme means something to me because I understood her more from our friendship. So she means something really important to me because of that.
Aww. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, and then we have our Ahsoka Tano. Very nice.
I feel like I need some lightsabers.
I mean, we know that you love Ahsoka, but why specifically did you choose her?
Okay, well, specifically because Ahsoka means so much not only to me and to a lot of you, but to us. Because we would not be sitting here if not for Ahsoka and Ashley Eckstein and her universe. Because it's because of that we got to know each other. So it's very, very special.
Mm-hmm. So I chose Hera.
Woo!
I think that's a little weird. But there's another Hera in the room. Christy Morris is right over
And
there
another.
wearing.
Oh,
and another one right there. So
Woo!
she's very popular. I chose Hera for several reasons. She's kind of an inspiration to me, but not only that, but Vanessa Marshall is like my best friend, which is really, really awesome. So I feel like I have to support her because she doesn't have a lot of merch. I think she has two things from her universe, or two wearable pieces.
Yeah, and she's on the shirt and the whole Rebels in the store, but
Yeah.
isolated.
Yeah, it's very isolated Hera merchandise. It's not very common, whereas there's a lot of Ahsoka. There's becoming more Padme, but Hera doesn't get a lot of love, so that's why I picked her. And let's see. We also, before we really get started, we want to thank Mr. Mark Newbold of Fantha Tracks, our stage host, for doing such a good job in coordinating everything, and thank you. All right, so we have one more person on our team that we need to bring up. That would be Sandra Shoot, our social media manager, who is rocking some Ahsoka today.
And she's also social mediaing right now.
She is.
doing our
It's like
Twitter
this kind of
Live.
like dual thing
Woo!
happening. So no dark side for you to wear today?
I switched sides just for today.
Oh, okay.
Hi, everybody.
All right, so we want to know, Sandra, what's your favorite moment of the convention so far?
So far, well, today, a group of us decided to go to lunch, and while sitting there, Erin Kellerman just walked by. She is the, from Solo Star Wars Story, she plays Enfys Nest, and I just kind of waved to her, I said, oh, hey. And she came over, we started talking. She was describing her experience. I guess her first Star Wars celebration. She mentioned how she met a lot of young people, especially biracial children who were just really impressed to see someone who looks like them on screen. We talked about diversity in film. It was just a brief conversation, and I was telling her that I have a niece who's also biracial, and that I am glad that she has someone that she could look up to when she grows up. So it was just an interesting conversation. I was excited to meet her, and she even got a Fangirls Going Rogue button.
Yay! That's awesome.
You know, and that's one of the things. Sometimes the best moments are not in a panel,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
having lunch and seeing somebody.
Just having lunch and someone just randomly walks by and you just wave and say hi. So there was just, I mean, I've met a lot of people, a lot of you that I have not had a chance to meet. So it's been fun so far.
Great.
Yeah.
Good,
Thank you for
awesome.
doing this.
All right, now I gotta go back to my job. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
And she's so good at it.
Yeah, woo! Yeah.
Remember, Sandra's the one who's doing the Saturday questions
Yeah.
and discussions and all that stuff. She makes that happen.
Yeah, the community we have, we definitely wouldn't have without her. So we have to have her as part of our team. So who's new to the show? Is there anybody new to the show?
Raise your hand. Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
awesome. So y'all have never
Welcome.
heard an episode before? No,
Oh.
new to our show. And you have,
Nice.
awesome, well, thank
Hi,
you for
thank you for
coming.
coming.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. This is a little bit different than how we normally do our shows, but we hope you will listen after this.
Yeah, normally we're all by ourselves in our own rooms because we actually live I live in LA.
And I live in Texas.
In Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
3 time zones, it's fun.
It's, scheduling is amazing. All right, who has been to our podcast live at Celebration before? So a few
Nice.
people.
Got some veterans.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate y'all coming back. That's really, really good. So we're gonna start off with merch. As you guys know, we like to talk about the things that we buy a lot.
Because we buy a lot of things.
We do buy a lot of things, for better or for worse, whatever that means. So Tricia, what have you gotten so far that you are so excited about?
Okay, well, it's a combo thing. Because some people may know I'm getting a puppy that's coming. And
Daisy.
Daisy. She's named after
Daisy.
Ridley. But I also got the plushie loft wolves because we love plushies, all of us.
Oh, yeah.
So I got the fetch outfits for the dogs. Have you guys seen those?
They're really cute.
Yeah, so last night I dressed my loft wolves up in the outfits and took pictures. And I got to show Dave Filoni this morning the picture of that. And
What'd he say?
He's like, I think that one may be a little disappointed. He's wearing some dog clothes. But that was fun.
So my favorite thing that I've gotten so far, and I haven't posted a picture of me in it yet, but I got the Sabine moto jacket from Her Universe. It fits awesome. If you're considering that jacket and you get there in time before they run out, I actually went up a size. I went to a medium. I normally wear a small. And it fits great. And it's really super lightweight. And we actually did an interview with Ashley Eckstein, and I asked her about that jacket, and the reason she made that jacket is because the only other Sabine piece they've really done for her costume is that one shirt that has a hood.
It's like the everyday cosplay.
Right,
hoodie.
and she felt like it needed something more, and I kind of really agree, because I love it.
You look awesome in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if I
thanks.
could pull it off, but you look awesome in it.
It's kind of my style, I would
Yeah.
say, out of the three of us.
You're the moto style.
I would never get on a motorcycle. That's
I
the
know.
weirdest
I have
thing.
so many moto jackets
That-
and there's
I-
no
nope.
motorcycle.
I don't know.
No,
So
no.
what about you?
Okay, so the very first day of the convention, I walked in to the hall and I saw the Her Universe booth and I was very excited, but the show floor wasn't open yet, so I couldn't buy anything over there. So I wandered over to Pozu Shoes, and
Of course you did.
they were open for business. So I put a little investment down in the silver linen ray boots, which are amazing and they're so comfy and they totally work with my Jedi Tink outfit. So yeah,
They do.
I
So is that how you rationalized it to Richard, that you needed another pair of boots because they go with Jedi Tink?
She made the face.
She made the
I pretty
face.
much went, meh. And yes, boots.
Awesome. Has anybody else been to Pozu so
Yeah.
far?
Yeah.
Anybody else
Awesome.
bought something from Pozu?
Very good.
That tells you something. Just so you know, the Pozu booth is right by the Rancho Obi-Wan area. It's kind of tucked away.
Yeah.
But go over there and you might lose some money. That's all I'm saying. All right. Well, so now I think we need to talk about, we asked Sandra her favorite moment of Star Wars Celebration so far, but I think now we need to talk about our favorite moments. So let's see, Tricia.
Tricia
Start with you.
first.
Can I think about it?
Trisha
Oh,
wants
sure,
to go
sure.
last.
Okay,
Very prepared.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to
thinking.
take somebody else's.
Okay.
She does do that. Okay, I'll go first. So I got to go to Ahsoka Lives Day. Was anybody else there in the room? Yay! Okay, so I've never actually been able to do Ahsoka Lives Day because that always conflicts with something else that I'm already doing that I'm committed to. So this was my first one, and it was really awesome, but I was in my Hera top because my Ahsoka Lives shirt's actually underneath it. And they weren't going to let me go up there because I wasn't wearing Ahsoka, and I was like, I don't want to take it off yet, it's too cold. But I had to. And then I ended up in the front row, and that was really awesome. But yeah, I feel like the Ahsoka Lives Day this year was, I don't know if it was bigger, but there were a lot of cosplay. Like, a lot more than I remember from Orlando. I don't know if that's true or not, but it felt like that to me. But maybe it's because
Yeah.
it was my first one. I don't know.
Well, I just loved seeing all the beautiful Ahsokas up there in their various outfits. Like, it's so, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. All right, so my favorite moment of the con, it's so hard to pick. So I'm just going to pick the first moments, which were actually on Wednesday. Richard and I arrived very early in the morning, and we just decided, let's just walk the convention area and go grab our media badges. And so we were walking from the hotel to there, and it took us probably an hour and a half because we kept running into people that we knew, and we'd stop and we'd chat for 20 minutes, and then we'd walk 20 feet, and then, ran into another person that we knew. And it was so much fun. It was like the whole family reunion was happening already, and the con hadn't even started yet. So I just really, really loved that.
Well, my favorite part of all of that was when Richard chased Matt around with a lightsaber. There was a video. If you haven't seen it,
Yes.
you need to check out Skywalking Pod on Instagram because
That's right.
it's really funny.
That's right, we ran into the Saber Guild.
The Saber
room.
Guild.
They were having an event where we could do, where adults could do lightsaber training. It wasn't just for kids aged 4 to 12 anymore.
She has an issue with that with Disneyland because she can't do the lightsaber stuff at Disneyland. So thank you, Lightsaber Guilds.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
So
Or
we
the
got
Saber
to run around
Guild.
with lightsabers. It was fun.
It's awesome. Okay, we have to talk about something that happened. Oh, it's your turn. Sorry.
You're gonna realize I'm so smart because I'm gonna do the segue.
Oh, you're going to ride a segue?
I'm going right
Okay,
into
got it.
So
Got it,
my
go.
favorite moment at the convention so far was in the episode 9 panel. And it wasn't actually the panel itself, but the trailer that came out. And I have never seen anything like that opening with Rey running and doing that backflip. And I just want to know what happens after that. That is one of the most stunning things. And I started really into the community as a fanfic writer and seeing that in my head, writing it. And when that moment, it just floored me. That was my favorite moment of the convention, just for me, for my imagination. So then that's a segue. We're going to talk a little bit about
Yeah,
that.
we're going to talk about it. So we need to, I've noticed this a lot of places, so make sure I get this right, that
Okay.
the name of the movie.
Yes.
It's Rise of Skywalker.
Actually, it's
Is it the?
Rise of Skywalker.
See, this is the thing. You see it once, twice, I haven't had a chance to watch it 50 times. So it's been very confusing.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Rise of the Skywalker.
Rise of the Skywalker?
It's the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
Yes.
the these in the other place. I got
Yes.
it. It changes everything.
I know.
Okay, The Rise of Skywalker. Okay, so who's seen the trailer? Y'all are so quiet. Who's seen the trailer? Okay, there we go.
Wait,
That's more like
who's
it.
seen it 10 times?
Woo! Who spent all day yesterday rewatching that trailer?
Who,
Sadly, not me.
Who's
I wish.
put their earbuds on and slow-moed it already?
Oh.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
Who
intense.
doesn't know how to do that? All right, you got to teach us.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh.
there's something you know about technology that I don't
I
know?
am the least tech savvy of all of us.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
I
So we
know.
want to talk about a couple of things from there. The first thing I want to talk about is something that I was sitting next to your lovely husband, Richard, and every
He's right there,
time
by the
he's
way.
right there. There's this one scene with water and something. Okay. And I'm like, and they play it again. I'm like, all right. But he's like, ooh.
No.
No.
What? No. The first time we saw the trailer, he went,
Well, yeah.
Yeah, which is how I knew there was something cool there that I missed.
Right, that we didn't understand. I was like, what is this? And then again, and so I go, Richard, what is that? He's like, the Death Star. And I was like, oh, well,
Now we
clearly,
get it. Yeah.
clearly. So then we immediately turned to Tricia because she's an engineer in real life. And I said, so where would the Death Star actually land when it exploded? And you
Yeah.
said,
You said.
What did I say?
she said, wherever they want it to.
Wherever J.J. Abrams
Abrams
wants
wants
it
it
to.
to.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
So I've imagined already there's some 5-year decaying orbit or something like that, if that's Endor, and if it's the second Death Star, if it's not like the 18th Death Star, then we don't know, but that's my imagination.
I've never once thought about where the Death Star would end up after blowing up.
No, me either.
It never
What?
even
'Cause
entered my brain.
It sort of blew up, and then
I
it
just
blows
figured
up.
it would like float around in space.
But it blows up, so like it becomes,
Dust?
Well, like shrapnel.
Well, listen.
dust.
Asteroids?
Asteroid. Yeah.
engine-
Basically, it's
the-
an asteroid field.
Meteors, comets, stars, what?
Well, then
Not a
some
star.
engineers did a really good job, so some of it stayed intact.
Okay.
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 But did they? Because they kind of left it very vulnerable, so.
Well, no, we know from Rogue One that was.
Well, okay,
You know,
all right.
good
That was
guy.
on purpose, you know.
All right. Well, can I mention something that I found fun in the trailer?
Of course.
All right. Well, it was the music. Who else noticed that it was Leia's theme? Oh, so amazing. Yeah. So the minute that theme started, right after Rey did her awesome flip, I couldn't like take in anything in the trailer. I'm just listening to the music. Did you have a question? She was raising her hand because she agrees. I love it. High five. Thank you.
Here, high five.
So that was after the first time. I was like in tears. I looked over at you guys. We're like, oh, crying.
I think the best thing we learned, and cheer if you agree, is that our whole crew is actually going to be together finally. Yeah, right? That's how I feel. That's one thing I've been missing, is I've been missing the camaraderie of all the characters together, going on adventures together. I mean, I think that's something we really liked in Star Wars Rebels, is when the crew was all together, that kind of vibe. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is the whole crew being together. And I know that's something that you have really wanted too, because you've mentioned it a couple of times on the show. Unless you just want a Poe movie,
Well, I want a Poe movie, but that's another topic.
Okay.
I've been, emailing Lucasfilm every day, so they're
Okay,
aware
good,
of it.
good, they know.
But come on, the best moments in The Force Awakens are Finn and Poe together, and then Rey and Finn together. But we didn't really get to see all of them together, so we know it's going to be like exponentially better with them together, right?
Yeah.
So I'm so ready for it, and all the actors keep saying they had so much fun making it. So I'm like, I want to see this. I want to see the fun.
me too.
I agree.
So, go ahead.
Oh, well, should we move on to Galaxy's Edge news?
Well, one
more point,
real
please.
quick thing.
Yes.
So, when we heard that laugh,
Oh, yeah, of course. One
that
more quick thing.
happens, and everybody got chills, right? Because we're like, oh, dang. What I've thought was funny is, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I've seen a lot of people saying, well, that's not the Emperor. And I'm like, no, he's right there, like on the stage, it's him. Is anybody excited for that or wanting to know? Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm curious if he has some sort of Darth Maul-ish look to him. I mean, I know he didn't get cut in half or anything, it's not that
He
dramatic.
got exploded.
Yeah, do you
Well, I
think
know,
he's
but like he's
alive, or
gotta
is
be.
Well, the Death Star's still sort of there, so.
Okay, all right, maybe he's in the Death Star or
Or
somewhere.
he's like influence or force.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who
I mean,
knows?
we're
We
not
don't
going
know
to find out
anything.
until we get there.
It's
but
true.
It's true.
I didn't see him at first. And so, and apparently if you're watching it on the Star Wars stage show, like
Yeah.
he came up. So Ian McDiarmid was standing down there. So they saw him right away. But in
It
the
was hard to
panel,
tell.
it
If
was
you were
really-
in the room, it was hard to tell. You just saw somebody standing
he
on
was
the
like this
stage.
big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you were like,
Is that Anthony Daniels? Is
Yeah.
C-3PO the bad guy?
that's so weird. All right, well, yeah, let's talk Galaxy's Edge, since this is your thing you are the most excited for.
Yes, because I'm
This
20 minutes
year.
away from Galaxy's Edge, where it's going to be anyway.
No
May 31st.
brag or anything. Good Lord. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So who is at the Galaxy's Edge panel today? Yeah, a few of you. Nice. So they didn't announce too much new news, unfortunately, but they did announce something fun, which was that Disney Parks had partnered with Coca-Cola for the first time to create these new Arabesh labels for their Coke, their Diet Coke, their Sprite, and their Dasani. And they're in like different shaped bottles.
They look like detonators. Like
Yeah,
when they opened it,
they
I
do.
thought they were detonators. Like are Rail gonna be Boosh standing there with Jabba?
Yes, it does. It does
Yeah.
look like that. And I turned to Tricia at the panel. I was like, oh, they're going to give that away because we knew we were going to get some kind of giveaway. But we didn't get that, unfortunately. But we did get a Coca-Cola shirt, but the Coca-Cola logo was in Arabesh. So that was pretty cool.
So
That was
I
pretty
wasn't
neat.
in there.
Yeah.
I was at the Lego Freemaker panel.
Woo.
What? I love the Freemakers. So but Disney's been partnered with Coca-Cola for a long time.
Oh yeah, but they partnered with them specifically to design different like merchandise. There you go. There it is.
thank you.
Coca-Cola.
So what you're saying is it's like they've had the partnership, but it's something, instead of it being,
Just
like
here's
this.
Coke in your parks.
got it.
Here
Okay,
is
I understand now.
bottled Arabesh labeled fabulous for Star Wars Land specifically.
Okay, so how much is that gonna go for on eBay?
Oh, I know. Exactly.
You
Who
know, I mean,
knows?
there's not going to be any left because people are going to go in, they're going to buy them all, they're going to take them home, and then they're going to put them on eBay.
But you know what? There's so much more merchandise to buy at Galaxy's
Yeah.
Edge. I think that'll be kind of low on the totem pole list.
Yeah.
There's some amazing merchandise at the Galaxy's Edge booth if you guys haven't seen it. It's amazing.
Can I do this one?
Yes.
So apparently, Frank Oz will be voicing a Force Ghost Yoda.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Can you
In
imagine,
where?
like, walking around
In
and he's
where?
talking to you?
Well, yeah, we're not sure. Did they allude that it would be in a ride?
No.
No.
I'd
So
see-
it might
yeah.
be just in the land. You like could hear randomly Yoda
Oh.
talking to you.
Especially
Okay.
maybe if they figured out that you're a lights, you're fighting for the resistance because you can kind of create your own persona there with the app. That's one of the things they've talked about and we've seen them talk about specifically. So I'm guessing will probably be more opportunities to hear people, but Yoda is very recognizable. and
Yes.
You could just hear him.
That's going to be amazing.
One of the things I was excited about was the cooperation with the First Robotics program. And if y'all haven't seen that, if you retweet and use that hashtag for the sweepstakes, you can win a visit to Galaxy's Edge. I actually worked with First Robotics, so they work to get kids, and especially underprivileged kids, into STEM and to help them get teamwork. So this is like it's a huge, amazing program already, but imagine these kids getting a chance to get to learn about Imagineering, which is
Ooh,
so
that's so
incredible.
cool.
So go to Star Wars, at Star Wars Twitter, and check out and use the retweet and the hashtag, you'll get a chance to enter.
What is the hashtag? Does it?
It's a really long one. It's like one of
Okay.
the longest hashtags I've ever seen. I had to copy it and paste it.
Oh, so she's already done it.
Yeah, I've done it.
Wow, good job. All right, well, the last thing about Galaxy's Edge is Richard and I were actually over at the Galaxy's Edge booth after the panel, and we got to talk briefly with Imagineer Scott Trowbridge and Chris Beatty, and I got to ask them what it was like to work with John Williams. And I know. And Scott Trowbridge, he was there, like in the recording session at Abbey Road with the London Symphony Orchestra.
Oh,
We're
gosh.
gonna hear this. And he said that he was in like the recording booth, and someone came in and said, "John Williams wants to know if you have any notes." And he was like, "No, I don't have any notes. It's amazing." Like,
You're not going to tell John Williams anything.
Yeah,
Just do
exactly.
whatever you want.
so
Could
I
you
thought
make that a little peppier?
faster, more intense, maybe? I don't know. Yeah. So I thought that was great.
So, by a show of hands or cheers, whichever, who's planning to go to Galaxy's Edge at least within the first year? Okay, stand up if you're planning on going within the first 6 months. You all are officially insane. That is my official opinion because and I've said this on multiple shows on my other podcast, I am terrified of that place because of like walking around like this. So I want to wait for the Resistance ride to be open. So
Well,
if
that
you're
too.
like me, we'll just wait and live through everyone else for a while.
But please do send pictures.
Yes, we do like,
Yes.
I do like living through you.
Say, hey, we're going to be there. Tweet us, and we'll just totally follow you.
Yeah, and just retweet everything. All right, so we have some giveaways.
Woo!
Because we always like to give things away. So the first thing we're going to give away is this puzzle.
Well, actually,
No?
we have that we're gonna do the giveaways on like at the end.
And
Yeah.
What? Okay. Behind the scenes thing. It says giveaway.
I know.
And we were outside for 30 minutes putting this in order.
because we're going to just throw a loop at you because that's more fun.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
But instead of a giveaway, we're gonna
We have a guest, so it's better.
someone up. Yes.
Okay, so Priya come on up. Every time we've done these panels, and part of our mission is to directly show people who have been inspired and or working in Star Wars or participating in it. So we've
Yes.
had previously on panels at the conventions, we had a NASA engineer, and we've just tried to really, every time we get someone different in. Priya.
Hi.
Do you want to introduce yourself and tell them what your job is?
Yeah, hi, my name is Priya Chaya. I am a historian, a public historian by training. By day, I work for the National Trust for Historic Preservation, working to help preservation professionals save historic places around the country. My favorite part of the job is how we work to tell underrepresented stories in history. If you follow along with hashtag Tell the Full History, you'll see some of that work, and our handle is at Saving Places. You can follow me at Prehistoric, where I talk lots about history.
So really quick, just because of that, a little tiny story, I'll make it super short. When I was in 7th grade, I'm from Texas, and I got really mad at my history book because in the history books, they don't talk a lot about the Mexican-American part of history in Texas. And I'm like, we're literally in Texas, I don't understand. And so I actually took it to our school board that they needed to get a new textbook because I was like, I'm not in there.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
And also, Sarah, she is a big Timeless fan.
Oh my God.
It sounds
One
like
of-
you would be a huge Timeless fan.
One of the greatest moments of my life is when they did, after they didn't know if they got renewed the first time.
Right.
They had a showing of the Lincoln episode at the Smithsonian, and me and my colleagues at the Trust got to go and interview what we thought was just the showrunners, and then Matt Lanter was
Aw,
there,
man.
Abigail Spencer was there, Malcolm was there, and I was like, oh my God, we didn't know what to do. They were so pretty. We were like, what are we going to say to these people? But they were delightful and awesome, and then Matt Lanter's also got the Star Wars connection, which is awesome.
If people aren't familiar with Timeless, Anakin Skywalker's voice from the animation, Matt Lanter, is the star of that show also. And so that's sort of how I started watching, and it sort of went from there. But really long story short is Priya and I have known each other since the fanfic days from the prequel trilogy era. So we've been friends for a long, long time. And how old were you then?
Oh, I don't even know. I must have been like 15 to 20 years ago. I must have been like 18, 19, because I started writing fanfic when I was in college. So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
And so it was just one of those crazy ways to kind of meet people and make lasting friendships. And, you're one of the young voices that people said, oh, the prequel trilogies weren't necessary. Prequel trilogy wasn't as popular or people didn't like it. But you see fans now who are going on.
Yeah. So I can tell a little bit about that. So I got into Star Wars during the blizzard of '96. I was 14 years old. One of my friends, Tracy, brought over the VHS tapes that weren't like the official ones. They were the taped off of HBO or something, because she wouldn't let me use the official ones because she didn't want them to get messed up. So I sat during the blizzard and we just watched them over and over and over again. And then the next day I showed up at school and she had a book list starting with Heir to the Empire, being like, here, there's more. And so my mind was blown, and I've been a Star Wars fan ever since. So when The Phantom Menace got announced, I was that countdown girl on my locker who could not stop talking about Star Wars. And the rest is history.
Wow.
So you guys are close to the same age then?
We're actually
You're the
closer.
same age.
Yeah.
We're-
They're
yeah.
closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 36, if that helps.
I'm 34. We're not that, it's all good.
It's all relative.
Oh, yeah, who cares?
So we wanted to talk a little bit about just the world building and how that inspired you as becoming a historian, just seeing like Naboo and Coruscant and all those things that we didn't get expanded upon, and then all of a sudden here they are in the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, so from where my perspective now and looking back, I don't think I knew this at the time, but stepping into Star Wars was stepping into a whole new world. And obviously I learned slowly about how George Lucas used history to sort of build the narrative, to draw parallels between what happened during World War II. And then when we got to the prequels, I was really fascinated by how costumes and objects and that visuals all built the narrative into this fully realized world. And as a historian, that's often what we have to use to tell the history we have, because you can have notebooks and primary sources and things like that, but you have to use things like objects and audio and visuals to build out those stories that we don't actually have primary source documents from those people's voices. And so it all sort of, when I think about it, it all sort of started with my interest in Star Wars, and then fantasy writ large fed into that. So by the time I had this amazing high school history teacher my senior year of high school, I realized that this was a way for me to do this in the real world. And it's not really world building, but it's recreating the past to tell these narratives that are really important. So yeah, and I love it.
That's really, really, really awesome. So this is your first time at Celebration, correct?
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome. Woo!
Yay, welcome.
Yay for coming. So,
So pumped.
what has been your favorite moment so far?
Oh man. So I think one of the, if you've read anything I've written on Fangirl recently, I had like a moment of where I realized that my love of Star Wars was not as big as it used to be, and it really freaked me out. And so when I decided to come here, I was like, I want to find that again. I want to find that moment. So I got into Twin Suns for the overflow for episode 9, and when that trailer came up, and she did that backflip, and then you heard Ian McDermott's cackle, I was singing like this, like for those of you who are listening to this, my hands were up on my mouth. And then the guy next to me started crying, and I was like, this is how I feel right now. There's so much joy in this space. I mean, it was, I don't know, it made me feel great. And then I went to the Del Rey panel, and anytime I see Tim Zahn, I'm like, yeah, this is my people.
Oh, that's amazing. So I know you as a historian, so I'm sure Star Wars influences all of our lives. I mean, that's why we're here. And so I just wondered, does it influence your career?
Nowadays, the way I look at it is through the lens of broader storytelling. So obviously, Tricia and Fangirl blog, they do a lot of conversations about how do you include inclusiveness and intersectionality and all of that stuff as part of storytelling through pop culture, which has also got a through line through the work we do as history, as I've said before. My personal research that I've been thinking about now is how do you layer things like theater and dance and literature and art into telling that full story, because as I've said before, you don't have primary sources from those people's voices anymore, and sometimes it comes through plays and music and things that were passed on through generations. And so for me, I think about how Star Wars uses things like John Williams music. If you saw the David Collins panel yesterday, like the way he talks about the layering and the bringing things from the past, like, and seeing how that works and all fits together.
One more quick question,
Yeah.
because George Lucas is opening his museum.
Be still my heart.
Can you tell us how important that is for that museum to exist?
So I can tell you from my perspective, I think the thing that George, first name basis, right, is how he uses things like mythology and the monomyth or whatever with Joseph Campbell and stuff to sort of build out what that storytelling is. And he's always used art and visuals in how, like Ralph McQuarrie's art, to sort of tell that big story. And I think with this museum, which is, I think it's the Museum of Narrative Art is what it's called, it's going to do that by looking at real world art and things to talk about how we tell stories, whether it's through modern day virtual reality things to paintings that were painted by Americans like 100 years ago or something like that. And so I think for that is really important, because it'll help us realize that the way we tell stories has changed and evolved through time, but in some ways it's a little bit the same, and that's sort of the connective tissue between us as human beings. And so I'm excited. I think it's 2020 is when or 2022 when it's coming out.
Ooh.
I can't remember when it's opening.
Sure.
Somewhere in the 20s, in LA, and so I need an excuse to go, and this is it.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
right.
you go there, and then you go to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. Oh,
there we
yeah. That's my. I'm telling myself in my head it's my 40th birthday present is going to Galaxy's Edge. So.
Nice.
Thanks, Priya, for coming up and
Yeah,
sharing
thank
your
you.
story
Yeah.
with us. We appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Give her a big round.
All right, so normally on our shows, we do a character discussion as always our last closing segment. And a lot of times I come up with crazy things like the Millennium Falcon or the Force or something.
Well, but then the Millennium Falcon became a character.
Yeah, no, it's just crazy.
It's crazy.
Did they listen to our
I
show?
think so.
I mean, I really think so, because Queen Shadow came out, and I'm pretty sure we pitched that. Pretty sure. So we're going to do this pretty quickly, just so we can move on, because since we are live. What does Skywalker mean to us as our character discussion? I'm not starting.
Okay, you know what? I'll start.
Yeah, you start.
Okay, Skywalker to me means family. And it's just, well, because the other podcast I do, Skywalking Through Neverland, we call our listeners Skywalkers. I know many of you are Skywalkers as well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And so we just feel like, it's this family that's been created because of all of you. So, and I think that also the films speak to that. We have the Skywalker family. It kind of follows this family name, which may change, we don't know. But, so that's what it means. That's my long-winded answer for Skywalker means family.
Tricia?
I think it meant to people one thing, a person, originally from the original trilogy days. It was Luke Skywalker. And then we learned about Anakin Skywalker, who at first we didn't know who he was as being Darth Vader. And I believe it's going to evolve beyond those people and beyond, it's an idea. Luke Skywalker, to me, was an idea of a good person and making the right choice, even in the hardest moment. And of course, Anakin Skywalker didn't make the right choice at one point, but he turned it around. So to me, it's an idea of being the person that makes the right choice in the hard moment. And about what Dave Filoni said at the Rebels panel about being selfless. Yeah.
That's a good one. So mine kind of ties into that. When I hear Skywalker, I actually think about balance and balancing your life between light and dark, and not just the Force, but those aspects of your personality of light and dark. And knowing that it's okay for you to be a little bit more dark side sometimes, or a little bit more light side, depending on the situation that you're in. So that's what it means to me. And so basically, since we can't bring you guys up here to know, if you'll tweet at us, which we're at FG Going Rogue, what Skywalker means to you, on our next actual full episode, we can actually read some of those. So we'd love it if you guys would do that. So it's at FG Going Rogue, and then we'll read them on the show.
Isn't it interesting, though, just to watch the kind of discussion unfolding after the rise of Skywalker, how people are trying to figure out what that means?
Yeah.
Just, does it mean, we don't know. Some people say, does that mean that Rey's a Skywalker? Does that mean that it's going to be something, that Skywalker means something different? Does that mean that Kylo is going to choose to go back and be a Skywalker? It means a lot of different things to a lot of people, and we're going to figure that out. And I think back to the Phantom Menace, which are, looking at now, all these years later, 20 years later, and we didn't know what the Phantom Menace was, and we didn't even know what the Phantom Menace was when the movie was done, because we thought it was Darth Maul.
Yeah. It totally was.
And we didn't realize, and I don't know how many people were in the David Collins panel. It's gonna be replayed, and you have to listen to it, because he plays Sarah might be able to better explain the music, the
Emperor Palpatine's theme
at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so you want me to explain it?
Yeah.
Okay. So Emperor Palpatine's theme, it's in the minor key, da 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 da. Well, now I'm singing the major key, but yeah, it's that one. And then if you listen to the very end celebration song, what is that song called? At the end of the Phantom Menace, it's kind of like a celebration that Naboo has been freed from
Oppression.
the oppression. Thank you. And it's the celebration.
The Trade Federation?
Well, it's the major key of the Emperor's theme.
Yeah.
Huh,
It's
very
kind
cool.
of freaky when he did it to everybody in the theater. They were like, dude.
Yeah, mind blown. Exactly. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just faster, and it's major. So that's all you needed, and you changed the whole thing.
All right, so we do have some giveaways. Also, I would like to take this particular moment to mention that this stage show is sponsored by Moon Cheese. We were able to get Moon Cheese to donate some Moon Cheese.
Because
Because we talked about moon cheese on
Yes.
our last episode
'Cause
with
Kat
Kat Tabor.
Tabor
She
brought it
loves
up.
moon cheese. Okay, stand up if you're wearing a Fangirls Going Rogue shirt right now.
Any kind of Her Universe, Fangirls.
BJ.
Fangirls Going Rogue shirt.
Fangirls Going Rogue shirt.
shirt.
They do.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
that's
BJ.
it.
They each get a bag of moon cheese. We have Gouda, we have pepper jack, and we have cheddar. If you guys want to come over here, he'll give you your preference, or he'll bring them to you. I'm not really sure. Okay, if you are wearing something from the Sisters of the Force collection that came out at the convention, please stand
stand
up. Sisters of the
Sisters
Force
of the
collection.
Oh,
Here, the two
So-
that
heroes.
works.
BJ, we've got two Heras over here that need some moon cheese. And then,
Take your pick.
all right.
And
And then how many more bags do we have? Those, okay.
Five more.
Okay, if you have something Ewok on, please stand up. Ewok.
Ewok there, too.
Ewok.
Oh, where'd she go?
She's
Okay.
right there.
She's right there.
Oh,
She's
okay.
right there. And over there. Okay. So that's those three. And then I think we'll have one bag left, but we need to get these others done so we can make sure that
Sure.
we are on time here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there are some tickets under some chairs.
Everyone check your chair.
check your
Check your
chairs.
chair, and
Check
if
to
there's
see
an
if
empty
you're
chair,
lucky.
check that
Ooh.
one.
Nice.
There
All right.
are-
So if you have a ticket, please come up here.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. If you got a ticket
Claire's
under
over
your
there
chair,
And they have to be the red.
they're red tickets. Come stand in a line right over here.
All right.
I really,
I think you're gonna get it. All right. So our first one you announced.
yeah, I can't see the ticket.
Oh, that's right.
I got it.
Oh.
Okay, so if you are ticket number 029340, oh,
340.
340. That's 340.
All right.
We have a
You get
puzzle.
a puzzle. Yay.
Okay, 341.
340.
All right, wait, hang on really quick. Can
Yes.
you see this? So, for
yeah.
those of you that don't know, Tricia is an author. She wrote a new book. It's a dark side focused Star Wars book. However, it is only out in France right now. So this is a French edition. So this is basically a collectible here in the United States.
This is going to be worth a lot of money.
Is this signed yet?
Not yet, but
Okay,
I will.
she will sign it for you
Woo.
before you leave.
There you go.
There you go.
Congratulations.
And you guys, if you do want a copy, you can email me. I have copies for sale too if you didn't win one here.
Okay, 338.
Who's 338?
Yay!
All
We have some books.
You get some readers, Star Wars readers.
Okay, 342. All right, we actually have a Boba Fett pin for you.
Woo.
You're
Oh, it's
very
an
welcome.
incentive pin from the
It's one of the
Celebration
incentive
store.
pins. 339. BB-8.
Woo. Incentive pin. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. 337. You're 33. So there is a ticket out there. There is a 337
There's a
ticket
ticket
somewhere.
out there.
You can check seats that are not yours. 336. You're gonna get this really cool little Hallmark ornament. That's Darth Vader. There you go. Actually, we might have two tickets out there
Yeah, there's
because
two
we have
tickets.
335 and 337. What do you have, sir? 335. Kylo Ren placemats.
Oh,
Okay, who was 337? Oh man, well there's sandwich cutters from Williams Sonoma. So there, if you happen to find, is that you?
Is it
No.
you?
If you find the ticket
take
in the
them.
room, I'm sure. So these are waiting for someone
right,
right
How
here.
good did you tape those tickets over there, Matt?
It was actually Christy. It was
Oh,
actually
it's
Christy.
Christy
All
did
right.
too good a job. How about, can I think of a number between something and then whoever guesses?
That
Whoever
might,
shouts it out.
that might take too long.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I'm thinking of a number between 65 and 67.
Yay, right there. Sandwich cutters.
Good.
Here you go.
The new listeners.
Woo! Yay, hooray.
You guys, if you haven't gotten a button, this is an exclusive button that we have. Raise your hand because BJ will hand them out to
Because I know
you.
a number of you came in
Yeah.
later because
Yeah, so-
you probably
Right, you were at the Women's Star Wars
And
Power.
if you want to take one for a friend, we're fine with that too.
All right, so in order to make sure that we are doing things on time here, we have to do our ending. But before we do our ending, okay? If you want to come and say hi to us or any of that stuff, we definitely welcome it, but what we want to do is go ahead and exit the room so that the next podcast can come in and do their thing. So we will go outside, and we can meet and greet you guys right out there, okay, instead of doing it in the panel room. All right, so we want everybody to do this with us. Our classic ending, if you don't know, is we say yub yub really loud, all right?
Yes.
But you have to sing us into it,
Oh, that's
girl.
right. Okay. So, until next time. Da 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 da.
Yub yub!
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. We'll meet y'all outside.
And then who has the gun?
Hey Yub Cubs, and thank you for watching this video of our panel from Star Wars Celebration Chicago. We had a blast, and we are so looking forward to the next Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim in 2020. If you did not get to go to Star Wars Celebration Chicago, or you were at our panel and you would like to let us know what Skywalker means to you, send us a tweet at FGGoingRogue and we'll read it on our next show. So until next time, thanks for watching, and yub yub!